Alright, so I'm going to make a video with some of the problems that would be important for the quiz. So I'm going to go over complementary and supplementary problems first. So I was asked to do problem 3 on the homework. So if we look at problem 3, it says the supplement of an angle is 20 more than twice its complement. Find the angle, supplement, and complement. So we like to label x equals angle, complement equals 90 minus x, and supplement equals 180 minus x. So that's 180. So it says the supplement of an angle, so 180 minus x, is 20 more than twice its complement. So we're just writing an equation. So our supplement, which we said is 180 minus x, equals 20 more, so 20 plus 2 times our complement, and this is our complement. So now we're just going to solve and distribute. So we have our 180 minus x equals 20 plus 180 minus 2x. So 180 minus x equals 200 minus 2x. Add x to x over, subtract 180, and we get x is 20 degrees. So x is 20 degrees, we plug it back in. So 90 minus 20, the complement equals 70 degrees. 180 minus 20, the supplement equals 160 degrees. And that's exactly what we wanted on the bottom. And then number 8 says an angle, so x equals angle. And it says the supplement, so supplement equals 180 minus x. So we want to find the angle and its supplement if the angle is 1/3 of the supplement, which is 180 minus x. So we're going to distribute x equals 60 minus 1/3 x. Add 1/3 x over, and we get 4/3 x equals 60. And we're going to multiply both sides by 3/4. So 60 times 3/4 gives me x as 45 degrees. And then if we plug it back in, we have the supplement as 180 minus 45, which is 135 degrees. And make sure we have the degrees, because if we do not label it in degrees, you will get points off. And yes, it's going to be on a Google form, so you're going to have to type in degrees. So if you just put 135, I don't know what you're talking about. All right, so now we're going to move on to some age word problems. So I am going to work on number 5. So if we take a look at number 5 on the homework assignment we had previously, it says Fred and Barney. So F equals Fred, B equals Barney. So Fred is 4 years older than Barney. 5 years ago, the sum of their ages was 48. So we're going to take Fred minus 5 plus Barney minus 5 equals 48. Then we're going to plug in. So we have F and F, so we can substitute. And we say 4 plus B equals, minus 5 plus B minus 5 equals 48. And then we're going to combine our like terms. So -5, and 4 gives me -6 plus 2b equals 48. Add 6 to both sides. And when you add 6, we get 54. So 2b equals 54. And divide by 2. And we get 27 as b, years old. So once we get that, we can plug it back up here. So 27 plus 4 gives me F as 31. And if we want to check our answer, we would do 31 minus 5, which is 26. 27 minus 5, which is 22. And when you add 22 plus 26, it has to be 48, which it is. So we have the correct answer. We can box it off so it's very clear. And that's how we would do it. I'll look at number 10 as well. So number 10 says, The sum of the ages of a father and son. So we'll say F equals father, S equals son. So the sum of their ages, so F plus S equals 56. 4 years ago, the father was 3 times as old as the son. So what I like to say is if I'm looking back at last year for me, you guys are aging 1 year less as well. So everyone in the world increases a year as time goes on. So if I'm saying 5 years from now, I'm going to be a certain age, you're going to age those years as well. So if you're adding to one person, you have to add to the other. So it says 4 years ago, the father was 3 times as old as the son. So F minus 4 equals 3 times the son's age minus 4. And then we need to plug in. But you'll look here and you're like, wow, I can't plug in their addition. So we're going to have to use our literal equation problems where we're going to have to get the F alone. So if we get the F alone, you have to subtract S from both sides. So we get F equals 56 minus S. And we're going to plug it in. So 56 minus S minus 4 equals, I'll distribute, 3S minus 12. So this becomes 52 minus S equals 3S minus 12. Add S, so we get 4S. Add 12, we get 64. So 64 divided by 4 gives me S as 16 years old. So if he's 16 years old, you plug it back in, and we get 56 minus 16, which is 40. So the father is 40 years old. And we can test this. If we plug into this type of formula, we have 40 minus 4 gives me 36. The 16 minus 4 gives me 12. If we multiply that by 3, we get 36. So they both even out, and that's exactly what we wanted. So you can box it off, and that would be our final answer. So it's all about the way we write these problems. We're going to have to manipulate them sometimes, and then we substitute. So it's steps that you're going to have to follow every single time. Let's take a look back at some of our literal equation problems. Let's see. So if I was going to do a problem like this, I want to change the color. Let's see. So if I was to do a problem like this, I wanted to solve for x. I'd bring bx over because that has an x as well. So minus bx equals c. Then I would factor out an x, sorry. And I get a minus b equals c. And then I want to get x alone, so I have to divide by a minus b. So I get x equals c over a minus b. And then I want to use that to solve 11x equals 6x plus 20. So we look. It looks like this. This looks exactly the same, but instead a, b, and c are filled in. So just looking, we can see a is 11, b is 6, and c is 20. And we're going to plug them into here. So I know a lot of us are just solving this normally, and you're going to get the same answer, but you're going to get it wrong on the quiz because you have to use the concept of I manipulated my equation. I used my equation, and I literally moved everything to get my x alone, and then I'm going to take these numbers and show that I can plug them into here properly. So we'll have 20 divided by 11 minus 6, and we get 4. So the answer would be 4. So you'd say x equals 4 as our final answer. Now let's try some of these problems. These are just moving things. You're not plugging anything in like the last problem, but you need to know how to plug in. So we want to solve for p. So we have p and p here already. So let's move the 9 over. R minus 9 equals jp. I'm going to solve for p, excuse me. I don't know if I said that. Minus kp. Do the same thing we did last time. So we're going to take a p out. I'm going to go up here. Of r minus 9 equals p, j minus k. We want the p alone, so we divide by j minus k. And I get r minus 9 over j minus k equals p as my final answer. The next one, we want to solve for y. So if we want to solve for y, we need to get everything on this side gone, so just the y is by itself. So first we have to multiply by 7s. I'm not going to distribute in because that's just causes a lot more work for no reason. So we'll have 4p plus 1. I'm going to subtract 4 then. We can just put it on the outside like here. You can't put it in the parentheses because it's not getting multiplied by the 7s. So I'm going to leave it like that. And then we're going to divide everything by 9. So my answer is going to be y equals 7s 4p plus 1 minus 4 all over 9. Let's make sure it extends. And then finally, we want to solve for r. So first step is to multiply by 3/4. So we can multiply that if we want. I'm just going to leave it. So 3/4 19a equals, make this smaller, 4r plus 3s. I want to get the r alone, so I subtract 3s. And then this is all gone now, I'm going to divide by 4. So we get our final answer. I'm going to put it over here. R equals 3/4 19a minus 3s divided by 4. And you could distribute the 3/4, and then you'd have to do something with the denominator, but you could just leave it like that. We don't need to simplify for here. There's a lot of different letters. So if I'm doing a triangle usage of it, I'm going to manipulate my formula because I want to get the height alone. So to get the height alone, I have to multiply by 2 on both sides. So I get 2a equals base times height. We want to get the height alone, so we divide by b. And we get height equals 2a divided by b. Then we're going to plug in. So this should say meters here. So the base is 14. The area is 64.4 equals the height. So we plug it into our calculator. 2 times 64.4 divided by 14. And I get my height as 9.2 meters. And you must label it. If I wanted to check, I would do 9.2 times 14 divided by 2 gives me 64.4, which is what I wanted. And then finally, if I'm going to use the perimeter one, you have to memorize it. Perimeter equals 2L plus 2W. And I want to solve for width, so I'm going to subtract 2W, and I get P minus 2L. I'm going to subtract 2L, sorry. I get P minus 2L equals 2W divided by 2. And I get P divided by 2 minus L equals W. So I wanted to simplify that. It just makes sense too. If we leave it, it looks a little weird. So then we want to use the formula and the fact that the perimeter is 19.2 and length is 7.2 to find the width. So perimeter is 19.2 divided by 2 minus 7.2 equals W. So 19.2 divided by 2 minus 7.2 gives me 2.4. So my width is 2.4 feet. And we can test that to see 2.4 times 2 plus 2 times 7.2 gives me 19.2, which is what I wanted. All right. And then this one, if I give you a word problem, you're going to have to get it alone. So I'm trying to tell you to find the degrees in Fahrenheit, so you have to get the F alone. So I multiply by 9/5, so 9 divided by 5. C equals F minus 32. Add 32. And you get F alone. And then you're going to plug in. We're trying to find the low of Saturday and the low Sunday. So you just plug in 14 and 10 for C, and you get your answers. So this is a short, brief video on how to do these type of problems. If you have any questions, definitely email me. We will have our quiz on Wednesday. Bye, guys.